Hey guys, Drew here for Drew Games here on YouTube.com. That's a little high. That's better. Welcome to the 17th episode of the Drew Games podcast here on YouTube.com, and like I said, on the channel of Drew Games. Joining me via Xbox Live is my younger brother, Desert Nord. I hope the volume's up high enough. Hey, bro.
Hey there. Hey there.
It sounds like it is at this point anyway. So, at the time of the recording of this, my video of me reacting to Tom McDonald's Dear Slim, which, as it suggests, is him talking about Eminem in his song and in the music video. So, so that will definitely be up before we even finish recording this. So, just go watch that. Is all I'm saying. Even though that's meaningless, because by the time you hear that, or this, it will have already been up on the channel for a while now. Hopefully. With that being said, on today's episode, we got Sony supposedly working on a new PlayStation 5 with off-the-market with available parts that are available, as opposed to the parts in the launch model PS5 that manufacturers have a hard time making, so then therefore Sony having a hard time producing PlayStation 5s because of the state of the world.
Yeah, you know they had to have some excuse or reason.
Well, this is actually believable, though.
Yeah.
Because you're not blaming, like, the state of the world on why no one's buying them. This is actually like causing manufacturing issues, which is actually believable. But it is what it is. So also we'll be discussing an internal document from EA talking about Madden Ultimate Team and FIFA Ultimate Team, so Mutt and Futt. We'll be getting into that and what that all means.
I would just say one thing, if I can, about the console issue.
Yeah.
I would actually question their business acumen at that point, because sourcing your parts is actually the first thing you should be doing over all other things if you're intending to sell what we call consoles.
With that said, if you guys haven't checked out the very first episode of the DDG show, in which Gucci and I discussed and ultimately both came to the conclusion that Xbox Series consoles and the PS5 should have been delayed till 2025, well, go check that out. And I still stand by that to this day.
Yeah.
So, with that said, can I continue the preview?
No, yeah, sure.
Alright, so after the EA document, we will also be discussing, considering that Starfield is still rumored to be coming out this year, now there's talks about a secret game being developed by Bethesda Game Studios that's not Elder Scrolls 6, and what that means for ES6, and I have some ideas for you guys to play. If you haven't played any of this stuff, while waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, which we all are at this point. And also, Sony is apparently being hit with a class action lawsuit for not allowing retailers, as in retail stores, physical ones, to sell digital codes for games for the PlayStation consoles. And also with potential legal issues, Sony evidently requires, and this was reported on by, I can't remember who, requires a fee from devs to enable crossplay on PlayStation consoles for their games.
I'm sure they love that.
Yeah, but we will get into that. So, with that being said, while you guys are here, hit the like button, subscribe for content like this, go follow the Twitch channel of Drew Games as well, where I play Xbox games. And why the hell am I so close to the camera? That's better. Sorry about that. And with that said, also go check out Desert Nord over on YouTube, where he does memes and other stuff eventually, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm just doing memes currently.
Yeah, but his memes are actually quite funny. His most recent one actually had me almost tearing up, actually. Considering that we grew up as fans of the Back to the Future series. Nord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that classic moment when Doc realizes
this damn thing doesn't work at all. Well,
yeah.
actually, I can make that joke about my old phone now. This damn thing doesn't work at all.
Sure, it's a joke you can make about a lot of things, but
Yeah.
I chose to be a little edgy about it.
Actually, I got it on hand right here. Do you know what this means, Nord?
It doesn't. This damn thing doesn't work at all.
Yeah, this damn thing doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And there's a rug there.
Yeah.
So it didn't break. Anyway, jokes aside, speaking of jokes, well, I really shouldn't use that as a segue for this particular topic, but it is what it is, because the console launch of the next gen of the series consoles and the PS5, let's face it, is a complete fucking meme at this point, and will be probably till 2025 for all we know, at this point. So like 5 years out from launch at this rate. But Sony working on a new PS5, and according to reports that I've been hearing, so they can use parts that are actually available to manufacture the console, so therefore they can actually try to meet demand of the PS5. And I will say this, I'm no fan of Sony right now, but if they actually meet demand for their console and Microsoft continues to struggle, I might as well get a PS5 like in the next couple of years first then. If nothing else, just to have a next gen system to play shit on, you know.
Yeah.
Or even from my point of view, just to have next gen to play on while I'm waiting for the one that I want, which is the Xbox Series X, to actually be available.
I know, right?
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, that's like half of everybody's problem right now. They release a console and nobody can get one.
But also keeping in mind my history with stuff, because if you look at what I usually do every generation, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, I usually play on fucking both anyway. So
yeah, I just kind of like wish somebody would pull the R&D department or whatever department is responsible for development
aside
over at Sony and say, what was the point of this?
What in the hell were you guys thinking? Like basically reading them the riot act like your father should do. Like most, like some people's fathers on Twitter should do.
It's a simple question. What was the point of this? It didn't work out financially. It didn't work out reputation-wise. It didn't work out for the gamer. Who did it work out for? The company? No, it didn't work out for them either.
Yeah, because they're seen as, well, there are other topics that lead towards Sony being seen as assholes at this point that we'll get into in a little while here. But the fact that it's coming out that Sony is trying to do this, yet there's still nothing about Microsoft, has me concerned about the Xbox and its availability going into like the next year or so here. Now, if Microsoft is just being silent and they're actually just going to just have it available without saying anything, that's one thing, you know?
Uh-huh.
And if it just becomes available without like no warning or anything, then that's fine. Then I'll just be getting an Xbox, and I probably won't even care about PlayStation unless something comes along that isn't on PS4 that is on PS5 that I really want to play. Like a future God of War or something, I don't know. But even then, there's still rumors about that going to be on PS4 anyway. So,
Uh-huh.
but it is what it is. Anything to add about Sony using available parts to manufacture PS5s or planning to try to do so?
Yeah, I just think it's a desperation move. It's something that they're doing because they don't know what else to do at this point. It's
Well,
kind of like when you don't have your homework done, so you just turn in anything. You
well,
know, the
well,
teacher goes, "What the hell is this?"
we'll
And he goes,
see.
"Well, it's all I had."
Well, we'll see how it goes. So, with that being said, next up we got an internal document from Electronic Arts has recently leaked that evidently was only meant for the eyes of employees of EA. So, hence, hence the term internal document. That's
Yeah.
that specifically says all roads lead to MUT or FUT, FUT being FIFA Ultimate Team and MUT being Madden Ultimate Team. That meaning that EA, and according to this internal document that I've also seen per the sources and whatnot, that
Yep.
they're planning for future development of the games, as in forcing you to rather want to play Ultimate Team than any other mode in the game by way of how the game is set up. Who in the fuck does this surprise? Other th-
Yeah, I can't imagine who would be surprised.
well, I can. Blind EA stands.
Okay, well, I guess.
That's it. And even then, they'll go, "Well, what's wrong with Ultimate Team?" Oh, I don't know. It's uh, gambling for children, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Considering that,
Classic.
and I have the most recent game right here. It says E right there on the bottom fucking corner. That means it's okay for children. Fuck you. No, it's not. Madden
Yeah,
should be coming with. Ah, fuck. Drop the controller. Can you still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. That's what happens when you have armrests that look like this. I'll show you guys. See? The cord easily gets hooked on shit. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah,
Yeah, you were talking about they're just like totally cool with gambling.
Ultimate Team and card packs. Yeah. Madden should be rated at best M for mature. At worst, adults only, because of the gambling mechanics of Ultimate Team for both FIFA and Madden.
Yeah.
And this is a hill that I will die on, that I will willingly hop on the cross like Jesus for.
Yeah.
Hell, I'll even pound the nails in my own hands and feet at that point.
Yeah. What I'll say here is that they they always have good ideas, but you can't just have a good idea.
Uh, EA hasn't had a good idea, I feel like, since I was like 10.
Well, let me explain, okay? You're talking about a good outcome.
No,
But what I was about to explain is that you need more than just an idea for things to end well.
anyway.
You need the idea, the implementation team, the development guys, the programmers to not screw up, and the ad team to do a good job. If everything comes together, an idea in the video game world can become something amazing that fans love and goes on for years.
Yeah.
But if somebody screws up in that line, or if everyone screws up in that line, like lately, um, good ideas don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's been happening a bit.
Quite. So, with that being said, don't touch Madden or FIFA. That's my honest preview for the upcoming Madden and FIFA games.
Because the reason I say that, bro, is because the idea of an ultimate team is exciting to fans of those sports.
Yeah, if it's more like fantasy football, like on NFL.com, then yeah, probably.
No, and people would like that. But
Yeah.
you see where they went wrong was they gave us a little sampling of what an ultimate team could be, and then gave us nothing but shit examples afterwards. I mean, like for instance, with the old NBA Street games, where you get to play sometimes, if you play V2, whatever, for instance,
Yeah.
you get to play as the old school basketball players, and you're like, oh, this is great. You know, I
Yeah.
never got to see these guys in real life, so this is great. You know, but then they took all that away, and then they gave you these really dumb ultimate team options from these games that are completely unsatisfactory. They suck.
Yeah.
They suck. They just flat out are terrible. And it's a
Yeah.
money grab, and that's what makes it even worse.
Hence, the only sports game worth actually playing anymore, as it turns out, is MLB The Show, regardless if it's on PlayStation or Xbox at this point.
Yeah.
And I can actually say, after playing enough of MLB The Show, that I'm willing to say that it is the best sports game of the year, even though Madden and anything else hasn't come out yet. But nothing else that's supposed to be coming is actually going to mean jack shit at this point, because all that's left is, I think, FIFA, Madden, and WWE 2K, whatever the hell it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, the show is the default winner of the year at this point.
Uh-huh.
As it is. And it scores in the rating system like a 6. What does it say here? 6.1875 out of 10. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, that still would put it in the mediocre range, if you ask me.
Well, mediocre in the rating system here, based on the numbers, is actually 5 out of 10. So this is just below, by less than 1 overall point, just below Game of the Year nominee stuff.
Which is really a shame, isn't it?
But that's only probably because I didn't know how to take the storyline for the road to the show at this point.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I like it, but it's not what I was expecting. It was almost like subverting expectations, but not completely subverting them, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, it's slightly subverting your kind of like meeting some expectations, but not others.
Yeah, kind of. But overall, everything else is absolutely on par for the next installment of what you expect. The stuff is smooth, the frame rate is smoother, the gameplay is better, and just overall, it looks just a little bit better than the previous year, but not by much, which is what you expect for Xbox One at this point. But it is what it is. But the way things are going, I'm probably going to have to throw out the rule of 7 out of 10 is automatically a nominee for Game of the Year, and just have to go with like the best 5 games are just nominated then. So if that's the case, then the show would be nominated for Game of the Year then. But the front runner is definitely Resident Evil Village, which scores like a 7 point something out of 10. Like nearly an 8 out of 10 for that, because it scores like 9s in basic in just about everything.
Sure, and again, I think most of the community would agree that it's really the front runner right now.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. And I'm not, and I normally hate horror games.
Sure, and this is eighth entry in the series, not really something you see too often,
It's
where the eighth entry is a really good one.
actually yeah, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, right? Was the last one?
Sure, yeah,
So then yeah, then it would be 8, I think. I think.
yeah, no, it would be because that's where they got the word village from. The ILL is
Okay.
you know
Okay. Well, that makes sense then. So, with that being said, speaking of games that we're looking forward to, Elder Scrolls 6. We're don't expect it like anytime soon, especially with stuff
yeah, we're gonna be dead before they finally release that one. Apparently,
more than likely at this point.
our children may get to see Elder Scrolls 6.
Hell, we'll probably be into a second term of Biden by then, or
Well,
through it at
no,
this rate.
we'll be into a second term of Seth Green as president before that happens. I'm
That
just I'm just saying,
that would actually be
it's that
funnier,
far
and
off.
because of it, probably better than Biden, in my opinion.
I'm just I'm just spitballing here. I'm talking about like a long time from now.
Yeah. But anyway,
Like they're not even working on it. That's always terrible to hear. They're not even working on it.
the information we're working with is this, though. Starfield is still supposedly rumored for this year still to release.
Yeah,
No,
well, it
no
was rumored for
confirmation
last
of
year
that
too, but
whatsoever at this point. Other than maybe like a watermark and like a copyright like year being almost officially confirmed at this point for 2021, which would suggest that it's coming out this year. Except for it's
yeah,
May
it would suggest that, but
and there's still no official announcement, which means that we have to be getting one at E3 like in about a month from now or less from Bethesda or Microsoft on when to expect Starfield. But on top of it, now there's reports coming of another game from Bethesda that has yet to be announced. Now keep in mind that like a little while back we talked about how Lucasfilm and Disney were allowing Bethesda Game Studios to make an Indiana Jones game at some point. Is that this game or is this something different?
you really got to wonder because
Yeah. And if they're different, then that's probably two games in the way of Elder Scrolls 6 now, as opposed to what Bethesda said back in 2018 or whatever it was when they were announcing Fallout 76. They went 76, then Starfield, then the game you guys are all keep asking for, Elder Scrolls 6. And when I say you guys, I mean me and Desert Nord too.
yeah,
Because in case you guys are not aware of, Desert Nord's name is derived from his character from Skyrim.
yep.
So his whole existence on the internet is centered around the Elder Scrolls. And if you guys look at what at at, at
That's
the
why I'm constantly bitching about the fact that they won't put out the new game
well they
or even
weren't
work on it.
and yeah. But with that said,
And I'll admit, Skyrim was kind of like the cornerstone of my gaming life.
uh, our gaming life
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
to the
didn't mean to speak
point
for you. I just meant to speak for myself.
where it prompted me to buy a second Xbox 360 so we would stop fighting over who got to play what when, and then buying a second copy of that game so we could both play it at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and secondly, I'm pretty sure that my longer streams are generally Elder Scrolls games, regardless if that's Oblivion, Skyrim, or Elder Scrolls Online, which ought to suggest what I enjoy playing for the longest periods of time and the most. But with that all being said, with the fact that we're obviously not going to see Elder Scrolls 6 until probably I'm 50 probably by then, and I'll be 37 soon here, like in a few weeks. But with that being said, there are games that we can play while waiting for it, though. And I put together a very short list of 3 ideas. But before I get to mine, do you have any ideas on what we could suggest to our now 23 subscribers on this channel on if they're Elder Scrolls fans, what they could give a try while waiting for Elder Scrolls 6?
Well, obviously, there's plenty of new games to pick from. I mean, they they've got a whole new series of games. I was just looking at them too. Let me see.
Well, while you're looking, I'll just go ahead and say one of mine right now. Then, all right. With the fact that there's a new expansion coming on June 8th, my birthday, in fact, for it, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Leaps out first and foremost to me because of the new expansion coming out, which is centered around the Argonians and Blackmarsh.
Sure, yeah.
Which is called Blackwood, which I do intend on playing, give or take, right around launch. Hopefully pre-ordering it still. But who knows at this point, considering that I just got a new phone today, so... Because the old one fucking died. But it is what it is. Did you find anything?
Well, they did add Red Dead Online.
So Red Dead Redemption 2 you're suggesting?
Well, it's Red Dead Online.
But it's connected to Red Dead Redemption, though.
Sure, yeah, I know. Yeah, of course.
So...
I mean, obviously, the sports games are a big thing for a lot of people. Show 21 and Madden 21 are going to probably take up a lot of people's time.
I'm never going to suggest Madden to anyone at this point.
No, I know. I hate it too, but it's still there.
But
so.
but MLB The Show 21, I will definitely suggest if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, go ahead and download and play it because it's there for you still.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy remaster is there too.
That being the remaster of 7, 8, and 9, I think, right?
No, it actually says 10.
Oh, okay. Well, 10's there apparently.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2.
Yeah, because
I guess 10 Part 2.
Because the remaster, not the remake, mind you, of Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 were in Game Pass at one point.
Yeah.
When I was looking at it at the time, but other than that.
Yeah, and then of course there's Just Cause 4 Reloading.
Yeah, Just Cause 4 would be a great game.
Yeah.
The Mass Effect trilogy is in Game Pass.
Yep. And they put out the Legendary Collection for everyone.
That actually comes out today.
Yeah.
But I'd rather do like the older ones.
But I'd never in my life spend that much money on. I mean, look, the first game was great.
Yeah.
Second game was,
it was good.
Some issues. But number 3 was kind of really tailing off at that point.
I'm willing to say that number 2, from a story standpoint and a mechanic standpoint, was probably the best. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I guess the point you were trying to make and that I would make is that there's definitely other options for people who are desperately waiting.
So for example, I didn't write this down, but I would actually throw out the Mass Effect trilogy from Xbox Game Pass. Now, I can't in good faith suggest the remaster or the remake or whatever it is that's that's being released today, because evidently BioWare and EA have been making modifications to like certain cutscenes to basically virtue signal shit. So I would prefer suggesting the originals at this point, regardless if you have them physically. And then there's also New Replicant, but in keeping with things like Skyrim and stuff that's going to take you a while, there's Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
There's let's see, there's Outriders, which is in Game Pass.
Oh yeah, and then there's the Outer Worlds, which holy crap.
Outer Worlds, yeah, I got that physically.
That one will take you a long time.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2, I would suggest.
And then, of course, there's No Man's Sky, which is technically never-ending.
Yeah.
Even in the most blatant terms, is never-ending game.
And the last game that I will suggest, before I get back to the stuff I actually wrote down to suggest, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Sure, yeah, that too.
And that would probably be like the number one suggestion for me. Because with the
sure, and most people would consider that like a spiritual successor for gamers to Skyrim.
To a degree,
what I mean by that is take up most people's time.
Yeah. Yeah. The base game could easily take you like a couple hundred hours, and then each expansion could easily take you 50 hours each, too. So. And I still haven't finished the base game either myself, so which I really got to get to.
I haven't finished it either.
Well, you haven't even played it.
Oh, I know. But see, that makes my statement an understatement.
But back to stuff that I had written down to suggest. The second one, you're probably going to go, really? You're going to suggest that? With mods, regardless if it's on PC or Xbox, while you're waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, play a modded version of Skyrim. Because mods will add content to it that you haven't played before, which will make it seem like it's like just more added content from the developer, even though it's content made by gamers for a game that we all love. Nord?
Yep.
Anything to add to Skyrim with mods as a suggestion while we're waiting for ES6?
Oh no, I mean that obviously is like you have a lot of fun with that, so I imagine it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, I have several characters going on PC right now. In fact, before Tom McDonald's video started, I actually started a new character based on an old cat that Desert Nord and I used to have, Harpo.
Yeah.
He's to be a thief for the Thieves Guild and a member of the Dark Brotherhood. Because he was a little fucking thief, that cat was. Case in point, memories of him trying to steal your bags of jerky.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I gotta say one thing that's funny.
Yeah.
But I know it was, created a long time ago. Was the Secret Neighbor series is quite funny.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It depends on people, whether or not people like the simulation style of game, though. Because, like...
Well, to a degree, I do.
Like Gmod, almost.
Well, to a degree, I like simulation, because I usually like pretending that Skyrim is the real world with my personal character type of thing. Yeah. So like, simulating me just going out, doing some farming. If the courier brings me a note, I'll go investigate what the note is, like, right away, type of deal. But with that being said, the third thing that I have to suggest to you guys while you're waiting for Elder Scrolls 6 is very vague and very obvious, because it's something that I have a huge fucking problem with. something that you can play through while you're waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, your backlog of games.
Yep.
So,
yeah, especially for you, bro, where you've got like, a half a dozen or more.
Well, considering that I run this thing, I'm going to run through what I have to play through still for achievement's sake. Army of Two to 40th Day, Army of Two, Devil's Cartel, the Assassin's Creed series in its entirety, the Bioshock series,
which is forever. Will take you forever.
The Bioshock series in its entirety, the Borderlands series, the Call of Duty series, Dark Souls 1, the Dragon Age series, the Fable series, the Fallout series, and that's Fallout 3, New Vegas, excluding Fallout 4 though. The Far Cry series. I got through the first Gears of War. I'm still working my way through number 2. Otherwise, the rest of the Gears series, excluding 4, and I'm still working on 5. Halo Reach, Gears Judgment, the Mass Effect series, NBA 2K11, Oblivion is in my backlog. So is Red Dead Redemption 1. So is Reckoning. So is countless other games like Armello, which I will be playing. It's Friday. Well, I've done enough shit today, so that'll have to wait till next Friday now. At this point.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Origin. Well, yeah, that's the Assassin's Creed series still. Astroneer is in my backlog. Cyberpunk is not, because I got through that at this point. I'm just playing through it for stream's sake. The Dishonored series, Elder Scrolls Online is in my backlog. Well, technically it's at the front of it right now. Greedfall, Hitman 3, basically every Lego game you could probably imagine. Maneater, Metro Exodus, Middle-earth, Shadow of War. The Outer Worlds is still in my backlog. Octopath Traveler now is, because it's in Game Pass, and I have that downloaded.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's in the backlog now, and I've been meaning to do that. Monster Hunter World is in my backlog, so is Outriders, so is Pillars of Eternity, Prey, Recore, Resident Evil Village, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil Reverse, whatever that's supposed to be, Rise of the Tomb Raider, so basically most of the Tomb Raider series, Saints Row the Third Remastered, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Sea of Thieves is a game as a service, I'm not counting that, Civilization 6, Sunset Overdrive still, which was almost a launch title for the Xbox One, Watch Dogs Legion, Witcher 3, the Wolfenstein series, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. So basically, I have games going back to like 2007 in my backlog, and stuff as recent as like last week that are in my backlog.
Yep.
That's how big my backlog is, guys. So basically, for me, I should just forget about ESO and Skyrim with mods and just play my backlog until ES6 comes out. And by the time I get done, it'll probably be just coming out then. More than likely. Yep. But anyway, anything else to suggest before we get back to Sony's issues?
I don't think so. I mean, kind of went over everything I could think of.
And I went over that and then some.
Yeah.
Because of how huge my backlog is. Anyway. So, Sony is evidently being hit with a class action lawsuit for not allowing retail stores to sell digital codes for games anymore. Nord?
Yeah, it's another one of those situations where you kind of have to wonder what the hell Sony's thinking.
Because if you look at places like Target, Best Buy, and Walmart and whatnot, you will still see digital codes for games for Xbox and Nintendo still hanging up.
Yep.
Sony's the only one that doesn't allow for digital games to be purchased at retail stores only on their site or the storefront on the console itself at this point.
Yep.
The more options you give your customers, the better the situation. Either way. Something that Sony clearly doesn't get anymore. Kind of like another company that's out of touch, which is Disney. So, if there's nothing else to add, last topic before we get done.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Last thing we got is, well, the last topic is probably a heavy one for Sony. Sony requires a fee from developers to enable crossplay on the PlayStation platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing to be said here. This is a really shitty move by you, Sony.
Yeah, you kind of have to wonder about them sometimes.
Well, on the one hand, when all of this dust up about Sony doesn't support crossplay for any games, blah, 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 I was in the boat of, well, I hate fucking crossplay anyway, because at the time I had just come off of playing Sea of Thieves, in which my friends and I had run into PC hackers while playing it on Xbox. And
Yep.
that's why I hopped in the boat, haha, from playing Sea of Thieves, haha, of I hate crossplay. Specifically console to PC though, is how I should word it now. Because cross-platform play like with Xbox to Nintendo and PlayStation, perfectly fine with, completely accept. PC shouldn't be compatible with console in any way because there are too many advantages on PC for PC players, and the games on PC are too easily hackable on PC.
Yep.
So yeah, PC should play with PC, consoles should play with consoles. End of story. And that's just how I feel about it. And I'll see why my phone was going off in a minute. I assume because you gave my new number to somebody.
No, I didn't. Not yet.
Okay, well, then I don't know what that was then. Unless, like, the one person that I followed on the new Twitch account went live, which is that Tug Life.
Yeah.
But anyway, because I gotta follow more people with that now. But it is what it is. But with that being said, closing remarks on Sony and not allowing digital game purchases, digital game codes to be bought at places like Target.
Yeah, I really don't see the point. They seem to stop themselves from succeeding every chance they get.
Yeah. Because on the one hand, there's good news of them trying to design the new console to actually have parts that they can get their hands on so they can manufacture them faster. That's a good thing on paper.
Uh-huh.
But also on
But then they
paper,
go and do a thing like that.
there's this other shit in the back.
Yep.
With Sony, you always get shit in the back.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. A shit joke.
Yeah, well, they also shit the bed.
Well, that's what happens when you get shit in the back.
Which is what the PS5 release was.
Well, that's also what the Xbox Series release was like, too.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, with that being said, that will conclude what we have to talk about here. So with that being said, Nord, what do you have on tap for upcoming
Well,
content, if anything.
I'm sure I'll come up with something. I'm sure something will come to me. Um, I usually just play it as whatever happens. I just make a meme about it. So I don't
So
know.
kind of like how my jokes usually work. They generally
Yeah,
only work when something happens first.
sure. Yeah, once something draws everyone's attention, and then you that's when you make a meme.
Yeah, so my like dad jokes are like verbal memes.
Well, dad jokes aren't memes. Dad jokes are usually cheesy as hell and not really meme quality.
Well, secondly,
But
most of my sense of humor came from dad. So what do you expect?
well, you're not a dad. That's you could learn dad jokes, but you'll never be naturally making them.
That's not how it's usually seen at work anyway. So what have you been playing lately? Just Elder Scrolls Online still?
Yeah, I'm just plowing through this whole game here. It's the way it is for me right now. I don't know. I kind of feel a little bit at home in the game now at this point. So,
Hmm. Well, that's how I feel about playing Skyrim on PC at this time. That's generally what I've been doing because I recently created a
I mean,
character.
now that I've reached champion level 200, it's
Hmm.
kind of getting more fun. We'll say.
Yeah, because otherwise I've been playing as our old cat and then a version of Dad who's no longer with us in Skyrim on PC as Gerald of Riverwood as our dad
Yeah,
and our old cat as in Harpo Harpo of the Rift,
yeah,
as in he's from Riften.
yeah.
Obviously, because that cat was a little fucking thief.
Oh yeah. Well, that's you can name him Harpo the Thief.
Well, I already named him Harpo of the Rift.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about the name schemes
Yeah. Well,
because every race has its own name scheme
yeah,
basically.
and coincidentally with the mods that I'm using on PC, each race has their own like little like quest like thing now. So, for example, with Dad, the Nord thing is when you reach level 10, you select a race that your attacks and weapons and your magic do more damage to because you hate them.
Sure.
In the case of Khajiit, I just found this out while playing as Harpo. The race-based quest for them is the quest to obtain 50,000 gold.
Yeah.
So Harpo needs to make 50,000 gold at some point in his life. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be pretty easy if he does what Khajiits do, which is set up a merchant store or something.
or if he just takes it from everybody,
Or that, yeah. Where's the thief? Yeah.
which is exactly what he's going to be because that's what he was.
Yeah.
But in the case of Bretons, I believe last I was aware, it was find every standing stone. But
Yeah.
but also Nords also have another side thing that they have to clear out like 10 dungeons as well. So I think like
Yeah. The
every
three
race
the
has
three
like two
traits.
things.
Yeah. The three traits most common. Well, some races have common traits, of course,
Yeah.
in the game. Like the Nords and the Bretons both would have religiosity as traits in their essence.
Yeah.
But the difference would be the Nords are kind of like dumb and angry, whereas the Bretons are kind of like high-minded, but not as high-minded as like say the High Elves are, or like say the Thalmor. They're all like uppity.
But of the human races, the most intelligent would be the Bretons.
Sure, they'd be the most intelligence-driven.
Yeah. I don't know what the
Whereas
Imperials
the Norks are just big dumb
are.
animals, right?
I'm not sure what the
Not as dumb
Imperials.
as the Norks, not as dumb as the Orcs though.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Imperials ones are with the mods that I have on PC and whatnot, or or on the Xbox for that matter, because I started trying to have installed on both like the same mods if I can find them on both Xbox and and on the Nexus for PC, but uh, Wood Elf is I've also been playing lately because I have a character for that one too. The one that I've noticed for them is there's like one animal that's glowing that you have to hunt. And occasionally that'll pop up, and when you kill that thing and skin it and whatnot, uh, that quest will continue, and I think you have to do that like 10 times to get like some kind of like enlightening or something, or like acknowledgement that you're like a proper like Dunmer, or Dunmer, I mean, what's the mer for the Wood Elves?
Altmer?
No, that would be the High Elves. And then Orsimer's the
Interesting.
orcs,
Okay.
and then Dunmer is is the dark elves,
Yeah, and then you have the Dwemer.
whom are basically non-existent now.
Still worth mentioning, however.
I know, because of their droids that attack you anytime you go into their shit.
Yeah, there was an entire
Anyway,
book on this. There was an entire book on this in the game called Racial Phylogeny.
we might as well just keep talking about Elder Scrolls lore again, so we get this up to an hour again here. So we got about 8 more minutes then.
Yeah.
So
There was something interesting about the Aldmeri Dominion
yeah,
being in like direct opposition to the orcs. But this was like, in the Elder Scrolls Online universe, like which was
yeah.
way before the Oblivion
Um,
Crisis or the.
before the rise of Tiber Septim as well.
Sure, yeah.
Which
It's an interesting play of events, actually.
yeah.
But it was kind of because I didn't kind of expect that.
Yeah.
Or this talk of how like the orcs were like Orsinium was destroyed and all this other stuff.
Yeah, the time frame that you're talking about in the Elder Scrolls Online is also around the time that Venice what's his face est- es- established the modern Mages Guild.
Sure, and the whole thing about it was the core storyline over here on the Elder Scrolls Online is centered around Mana Marco and
Yeah.
the Molag Bal cult.
Oh yeah. I'm well aware of that. We both had
But
to escape from Coal Harbor at this point.
yeah, sure, but you haven't finished the story, have you?
Not that I recall.
Yeah. Okay. Well, point being here that Mana Marco, he's a complicated individual. Um, Essentially trying to make himself a little god, defying the Daedra and everything.
Yeah.
Very, very strange and stupid behavior from a guy that in the Skyrim game you were like, oh, well, he's just, charismatic leader of a cult, and they're horrible people and they do bad things, but you're thinking, well, at least he has his motives and they make sense. But in this game, he was just completely a poser.
Yeah.
Like, he gets humiliated.
Well, when you signed
I
with the
also find
wrong
it funny
side.
how they have you encounter each one of the Daedra individually.
Hmm, that is a little interesting.
Yeah, quite. I found it quite interesting. But you have to play through like every province to figure that out.
Speaking of Daedra, I just thought of this to ask you. Of all of the
Yeah.
Daedra in the Elder Scrolls universe, with all of the lore for all of them, which one would be your favorite, or as in, which one could you conceive your character in the Elder Scrolls universe, i.e., Skyrim, actually worshipping if that was actually you?
Well, um, obviously there is the dead obvious answer to that question for any Nord, you know,
Which is?
which would be worshiping the um, trying to remember Talos.
I said Daedra, not
Oh,
Adra.
you okay? Well, you're talking about like the ones that exist only in this game, but okay, so uh, probably more Meridia, I guess.
That's the one that I would have picked because her thing is seeking to only extend the power of the light, and
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's kind of the
the
game kind of
fact,
leads you into that.
yeah, and the fact that she hates undead creatures like vampires,
Sure, yeah,
Draugr, skeletons, and that kind of thing. If they're
yeah.
supposed to be dead, she hates them,
The
and
game kind
I
of
can't see
draws
any
you
fault in
into
that.
that. Kind of draws you into that naturally, since you're basically inherently opposed to the undead and the Daedra,
Yeah.
uh, monsters and everything from Oblivion and Mehrunes Dagon, who, by the way, was a badass in this game.
Well, Miriam's Dagon is a badass in Elder Scrolls Online
I would say so.
because I thought he was kind of a badass of sorts in Oblivion.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of impressed with how imposing he is in this game too.
Because he basically went toe to toe
Of
with
course, I think he's evil,
Akatosh.
and I think he's like the core. I think he's like the core evil in probably the entire realm or every realm. But he's still very intensely imposing.
But with that said, since I just mentioned Akatosh and you mentioned Talos,
Well, sure, Akatosh is a lovely one. I think probably if I didn't have to pick Meridia for this game,
well, the thing is
Akatosh would be
that
a second.
Akatosh is actually part of the Adra, the opposite side of
Sure,
that.
and he would be one of the nine divines.
Yeah, so therefore, of the 9 divines, not to be confused with the 8 divines that the
Yeah,
Thalmor
or the
would
Daedra.
want,
Yeah,
there's actually 9.
yeah. The Daedra and the divines are two different things,
Yeah,
essentially.
so now I'm talking about the divines here. I'm torn
Yeah.
between probably 3 at this point. I can't remember the name of one of them, but
No, there's RK and there's Zenithar, I think, or is it Zendar?
the one that I'm thinking of is usually worshipped
Oh,
by
sorry.
by um
I
by mages.
I got two of them mixed up. There's Stendar
Stendaria,
and
the god of mercy,
sure, and then you have I think it was Zenithar.
who is basically the god of commerce and trade,
Sure. Yeah, and then you've got RK.
which is basically health and for some reason connected to the halls of the dead.
Yeah, well, life, the god of life and death, essentially.
Okay, I guess that makes sense then.
Yeah, and then Akatosh,
Yeah, the dragon god of
the god of
time.
time, and
Yeah,
the father of all gods.
and the father of Alduin and Parthenax, and
Yeah,
uh,
and the
and,
dragons.
and the dragonborn, which of course is you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how in this game that you're the vestige. You know, you're
the
just
soulless
some
one.
random. You're just some random who gets his soul back eventually, but it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. So, with that
Yep.
being said, of the 9 divines, your favorite would
Yep.
obviously be Talos, right?
Yep.
Nord?
Yep. I'm here.
Like I was saying, your favorite would obviously be Talos, right?
Yep.
For me, like I was saying, I'd be torn between 3. Akatosh, obviously. Talos, obviously, and the one that I can't remember the name of, who's usually worshipped by mages
Yep.
of of the 8 divines, and I can't remember this divine's name. Do you remember it?
I don't remember that specifically.
I'm thinking it's like Kinrath or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I might
Yeah,
be
Kenworth, that one.
but I might be wrong on that being the one though.
Yeah, there's actually in I think it's Cold Harbor. There's actually a Church of Light. If you play the game,
Yeah.
I wonder if I could go to it and find out. I can actually. I think I might do that. Here, hold on.
Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to end the show quite yet, folks. He's going to go try to find the Church of Light, even though you're not going to see it.
No, I was just to refresh my memory of the names.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's this big cathedral in the Cold Harbor, Hollow City. It's the Temple of Light,
Yeah.
or I don't know if it's called a temple, but um, it's got shrines
Yeah.
to the 9 divines.
9. Well, that's good. Wait, 9. There should only be 8 in the second era.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I call them the 9 divines, but yeah, the 8.
Yeah, because Talos hadn't even been born yet.
Uh huh.
Because keep in mind that Talos was actually also known in life as Tiber Septim, the founder
Correct. I know.
of the Cyrodiilic Empire. No, I'm just explaining that to the viewers.
Yep.
For anyone watching the channel that doesn't know Elder Scrolls lore like we do.
Yeah, it's 8, and they put shrines of each one in here.
Mm. Well, as soon as you
Let's see.
figure it
Yeah,
out, we're going to be ending the show. So.
it's called the Chapel of Light.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you got each one of these. Let's see here. And you got the symbols. I wonder if they actually gave you the names or not. Maybe I need to find out. Um, yeah, each one has a symbol and like a banner. Yeah, it very much resembles the ones in Oblivion, and you can tell that it's the Shrine of the 8 because there's 8.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess I have to find a lore book or something.
Well, regardless of any of that.
Here, hold on. I'll take 1 second here. Yeah, so list here. Okay, you had Akatosh, Arche, which is the god of cycle of life and death. Then you got Dibella,
The goddess
beauty,
of
beauty and
and
love.
yeah,
Yeah, then you had Julianos.
that's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one that the mages worship. Not Kinrith.
yeah,
It's Julianos.
wisdom and logic.
Yeah. So for me, it's that one, Talos, and Akatosh.
Yeah, then there's Kinnereth, which is air, wind, and sky, and
Yeah.
elements.
Yeah.
Then there's Mara,
The goddess of, well, the other one of love.
love and compassion, also known as the mother goddess.
Yeah. And,
Then there's Stendar.
and coincidentally, in Mara's places, you usually would get married in.
Yeah, and Stendar is mercy, justice, charity, and law,
Yeah.
and righteous rule and forbearance.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Talos, we already know all about.
Mm-hmm. The hero god of
Then
man.
Xanathar,
Yeah.
which is work and commerce and trade, the trader god.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently, there's also the Imperial Pantheon, sorry.
What's that look like?
Well, it has Mora House, and Raymond from the Second Empire. Now, Mora House was a Cyril Nord of the Thuln. And then there's Shazar, which is the Cyrodiilic, it says the Cyrodiilic version of Lorcan, sometimes associated with battle mages. And then, of course, there's Saint Alessia.
Hmm. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Saint Alicia. Yeah. She was the one that led the rebellion against the Alien elves that gave the rise to the empire and to the imperial race.
Yeah.
Something from Xbox just came up as a message. Something about Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
But it won't load, so fuck it. I'll have to look at that later, I guess. Okay.
Oh yeah. See, the thing that they have on the windows of the cathedral is stained glass, and each one has the depiction of each one, and you kind of have to recognize it based on the symbol. Yeah, that's really pretty the way they did this.
I think I just
It's like
actually.
a real legit church.
I think I accidentally just figured out what was going on with that message about Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
Because there was an advertisement for Red Dead Online and Xbox Game Pass, and then I clicked on it and immediately opened up the game that I already have digitally, which is Red Dead Redemption 2. Which then means that Red Dead Redemption 2 is an Xbox Game Pass right now.
Yeah.
Which means that if you have time and space, you can play Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, bro.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you have access to Red Dead Redemption 2 now. For as long as it's
Which
in
is a nice touch.
Game Pass for now. So I'm glad I just figured that out for everybody. Accidentally. But anyway. But you were saying about the gods, which we should
Yeah, it's really
wrap this up here.
really beautiful how they really beautiful how they did the church there in Hallow City and Cold Harbor. Like it's really a reprieve from all the ugly things outside.
Yeah.
You know.
Indeed. So with that being said, like I was saying like almost like 20 minutes ago now, what are you gonna be playing or doing after we get done filming here?
Oh, I'm just gonna keep playing this, the EOS, or ES.
For me, I'm either
Sorry, me.
going to catch up on other people's reactions to the Tom McDonald video that I just did a reaction to, which should be up on YouTube right now. Although I'm probably going to
Yep.
check views on that first while this is uploading. After that, I'm probably going to check other people's reactions, and if I have the energy after the day that I've had of going to the store, getting a new phone, and getting that all up and working. And then the other videos that I did of that unboxing, the reaction, and this. If I have the energy, probably play Skyrim on PC. Probably start up my
Yep.
character then, and actually properly roleplay with that as myself
Yes.
this time. But that's my intention. Tomorrow is Saturday, so I got nothing scheduled for content, so be ready just in case, guys. I decide to like pick up a day early playing like Madden or something on Twitch. Because otherwise on Sunday I'm definitely going to be doing some more of the Drew Hartfire quarterback career on Sunday. If I don't decide to do it also tomorrow, which there could be like an 80% possibility of that at this time.
Yep.
So get ready for me to be streaming like all weekend basically then.
Yeah.
Considering that I don't work today, I don't work tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday. And as it stands right now, I'm only planning on playing that one game from Game Pass, Armello, on Monday. So Armello, so it's Armello Monday for games with gold then, and then tomorrow and Saturday is some Madden franchise with the Washington
Yep.
football team. I mean the Washington Redskins at this point.
Yep.
With that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully for some Madden and some football tomorrow, guys. Anything you want to say before we end this, Nord?
Let's say that I'll see everybody on the flip side. You know.
I didn't know you knew how to do flips.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I'll see you guys tomorrow.